So, it's been a while, but nothing really has changed in this world. I wanted to showcase this again, only because I felt like I didn't do a good job on the last video I did, but I wanted to showcase a little bit more. So, if I have showing you something that I've already done, just beware, I haven't done one of these in a long time. So, you might think this building here seems familiar. Well, it's right on the screen right now. I put it on the screen for you. This is what it was from it. The thumbnail for my build series that I've been going on right now. Now let's go inside and I'll show you guys what's inside. I wanted to make this build pretty simplified, but this build was basically far from it. So basically this was the reception, all that good stuff you see from here. This was a cafeteria that I actually had. This is where the storage unit was. And yeah, that's basically what's going on in this side of rooms. I'm thinking I'll show you guys what's these rooms right here. So this bit world has all the buildings I've ever done, but this has taken me so long to actually complete. So these were basically all rooms. This was kind of the weirdest room I had to make because, you know, it wasn't exactly perfect. These were supposed to work as curtains, but it absolutely failed. But you might be thinking, if everything failed, why is this a good build? Well, this was just a prototype. I didn't even know what I wanted to do with this build whatsoever. So as you can see, these are basically similar to the other rooms, but they weren't exactly the easiest thing to make. My god, these rooms are so weird. Alright, I'm just going to leave this building, and we'll move on to the next one, which honestly is probably one of my favorites actually. I'll show you guys one of my favorite builds I've done. Now we've got that out of the way, I think we should move on to something that I've been working really hard, that I worked really hard on to try and complete. Now, this truck right here wasn't necessarily the easiest thing to do. You know what? I want to go to something else instead. We'll come to this truck soon. I want to showcase this other thing first, because this thing was one of my biggest projects I have ever tried to attempt in Minecraft. Now this, I could not really think of much to do, and when I built this at the time, I didn't know how to use light blocks, so I just left a whole bunch of dark patches, but it kind of worked out fine because this was a nether themed build. So basically this is just a giant library. There's another one on the other side. I'm not going to showcase that one, but this is another room that I was working on. Man, I reckon this room could have used more, but this is probably my favorite room of the whole bunch. And this is probably my favorite build of the whole bunch. I literally built a giant theater inside of this little confined space. And fun fact, this is actually behind the staircase, somewhere around the middle there. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. I got more to show you in this world. This world is actually one of the biggest builds I've ever done. Well, actually, no, I'd go as far as to say this is the biggest build I've ever done. Knowing it took me about, you might think I'm crazy, but this only took me about 2 weeks. Now, I use commands. That's why I say 2 weeks. Let's set some fire around here and see if we can get some blue fire going along. Perfect. Just get all this fire going. Okay, punch, punch, punch. And there we go. That is looking nice. Okay, now that I've finished this was kind of a reference to a friend of mine's channel, which he'll understand this if he sees this video. These speakers is what he really likes. So yeah, this is basically a giant media room and stuff. And up here is probably the longest time consuming thing I ever built, which was the kitchen and the balcony, because I had to get the windows perfectly in line with the oven. These ones are perfect. And please ignore this. This failed big time. I was meant to build the lighthouse and it did not work. But anyway, let's get away from this build. This is just a giant cup of coffee. It doesn't look like a coffee at all, but maybe I should showcase this. Okay, we made it into here. Now, this was what I wanted inside of the Observatory, say if it was added into the game of GTA 5 Online. This would be where everyone would spawn. Like, just pretend these are the boards to get to the casino heist. That one over there is for the original heist, and this one in the middle is the observatory. I think I did a really good job on the observatory, but this is what I wanted in GTA 5 for the observatory. Like, I wanted like a giant HQ where you can launch all the previous heists into the game. That's sort of what I wanted, and I don't know what this is all about. I think this is just another kitchen. On the side here is a bit different. It's more of a storage area. Like, say, if you wanted to store some money into your bank, you can get an ATM, put it right here, and stuff like that. I don't know. But that was my idea for the observatory. If it was added to GTA 5 Online, it could work like a giant heist hub or something, you know? Only the GTA fans will know that. Now, oh man, I said I was going to showcase the car. So let's go to the car right now, before I forget again, because I've forgotten. And if you're curious to know what this is, it's just my theme park I built. The Ender Dragon is probably the best part of the build, and I know that it looks kind of boxy in the middle area, but it works. It works. Okay, so here we go. The car was probably my most favorite car. A lot of people like this one, and I'll explain what this is as well. That was supposed to be for a new project I was working on, something related to where I'm from. But yeah, I literally built this thing like a giant scale model of a car. And the only problem with this one is that it doesn't have a steering wheel or any foot functions in the car, or even an engine. But this is supposed to be a house, believe it or not. This is actually a house. I built this as a house. And I could explain this as well. I thought to myself, man, this back area, it's sort of big. I think we could build something inside here. So I thought to myself, why not build a house inside a car? I know, I'm just silly. I like this sort of stuff. Now, if you've been a long time fan, you'll know that I love building castles. This castle probably was the most. Let me know if you guys like this one down in the comments, but it's actually not finished, and I wanted to do more stuff to it. Like, I wanted to add another floor on the roof, but this is actually at the build height limit. This is literally the build height limit, and with more stuff I wanted to do it. Like, I wanted to put a giant skull in the middle and stuff, but it didn't quite work out how I wanted it to, and I just got lazy, and yeah, it was just a bit of a failure. Now, I'm not going to showcase this one. If you want to see this one, go look at this video on my screen right now. You'll see it somewhere above my head. You'll see it somewhere above my head. Anyway, this one right here, believe it or not, this one was built all legit. No commands, no nothing. This was all built completely legit. I would say the longest thing it took me to do was the floor, actually. The floor took me the longest time to do, and if I knew the commands were working at this time, I would definitely have taken a lot less time to complete this. And yeah, that's basically this build, and probably all the main builds around here that you've seen in the last video, if you saw it. Yeah, if you guys want to know this one, I don't think I said it in the last video. I think I'll explain it now. This was supposed to be what the heavenly castle would look like, and that castle way over there was supposed to be hell. So that's why I sort of built this here, thinking this is what the castles would look like in my opinion. But I think I did a pretty good job. Up here is a giant crown. Yeah, a giant crown, a giant throne, and around these walls here, I think one of them has a kitchen. I don't remember which one it was, so I'm not going to showcase that. Well, I'll show you 3 more. So this was my first attempt at a modern house. I think I did a pretty good job, but the one thing I really wanted to try and do with this thing was try and implement lapis lazuli blocks in here. I know that sounds a bit weird, but yeah, I wanted to implement those kind of blocks into there. I felt like I did a pretty good job. Guys, let me know, rate my builds out of 10 down in the comments. All together, like, try and rate them all together. Okay, the next 2 builds are the same thing, but they completely look different. Now, this one was a blast from my past. I built this ages ago, and I built this when I was on the PC originally. I think it was Bedrock Edition that it was on, but I built this ages ago, and I thought to myself, this looked really cool. But what I wanted to put on the top of it was a dome, and I thought to myself, you know what, that doesn't look nice. I don't know how I can make this look anywhere near as nice, But I think we should move on to the upgrade, which I believe is just right behind me. Now, this arena was probably one of my favorite ones. Now, it took me a while to finish this one. The commands were kind of crucial. Even with commands, this thing took me so long to finish. Now, how is this thing not burnt down? Well, these things here don't actually set fire to wood, and this doesn't have fire spreads on. So, yeah, this is basically everything I ever wanted in an arena, and this was supposed to be jungle themed. I don't think this one's quite done yet, but I can't build on this world anymore because it's so laggy and stuff, so I can't really do that. Actually, you know what? I want to show you 2 more builds. I know I said I'd do 3 more and I'm on the second, but I want to show you these last 2 right here. So this one here, this one was basically, to my head, I thought to myself, you know what? I've never attempted this. And I thought, you know what? Let's give it a try. I wanted to make a house out of shapes. Like, there's a triangle here, there's a square right here, and a circle right there. That was my attempt at a shaped house. I think I did a pretty good job. Like, considering it's just a shaped house, like, yeah. Okay, so this castle here was a giant fluke. I didn't actually intend to build this. This thing was just a giant fluke, and I didn't even know this thing was actually going to turn out to be so cool looking. But it actually has an interior too. Yeah, that's right. I put like a bunch of chairs. I felt like I did a pretty good job. I didn't want to put lava in here because I felt like the water logging would look a lot better. And anyway, that's basically the entirety of the builds that I've done, or at least the rest of them. That will conclude the video for the day. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Good